Hey, buddy, watch this.
Hello, hello, Regis Kilbin is the name, and Command & Conquer Rivals is the game. That's right, I've partnered with EA to bring you some Command & Conquer's Rivals content over the next few months. And I'm really excited about this game because it takes something I used to love as a young gamer, the Command & Conquer universe, and it brings it back to life on a mobile platform. Now, you may be wondering how that classic real-time strategy experience can be translated to a phone or tablet, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit more in this video. But first, I just want to say, if you're in Canada, the game launches for you today, and you can hit the link in the description to download it for free right now. If you're outside of Canada, Command & Conquer Rivals will launch globally on December 4th, but you can still hit the link in the description to pre-register for a chance at some early access gameplay, which I think you're really going to enjoy, so I would encourage you to do that. But if you're not quite ready to check it out just yet, let me tell you a little more about it and why I think this game's actually going to be a great experience and a far more faithful adaptation of the Command & Conquer experience of old that you might have grown up with, but also just a fun way to play in that universe and that Command & Conquer world that you probably have a lot of nostalgia for. And it really comes down to three things that I haven't seen in other mobile games. The first of those is how much strategy and depth they've managed to squeeze into a mobile game. And you'll experience that pretty quickly when you play it because there are a lot of different layers of interaction before you actually hit the map and start battling an opponent. In other words, you have a commander to choose, and they have a special ability that can really impact how you play the game. And then you get to choose your units, and there are all kinds of different ways to select different units that might fit your game plan. You can play faster, you can play slower, you can play for a control game plan or more of an aggressive, just try to kill your opponent as quickly as possible game plan. And choosing units in a strategic way allows you to do that. There's also different kinds of units, so there are multiple levels of interaction there and a lot of different levers to pull so that you have a lot of influence over the game at any given point. And even beyond that, once you get into a game, once you've set your commander and your units and all these other aspects, how you approach an individual game based on what you're seeing from your opponent has a lot of options. You can go for more of a resource plan where you collect resources to ramp up into crazy things later. You can just go straight for points. You can attack your opponent directly at their base. There are all kinds of different angles in any given scenario to take the game to another level, which I think gives smart players, people like us who value analysis and preparation and all these things, that gives us an advantage so we can actually be better at the game than our opponents. And that's exciting when you can have that direct influence and directly impact the outcome of a game. And of course, that's only fun if you're playing against a real opponent, which you are in Command & Conquer Rivals. There's true 1v1 gameplay here. This is not like you're queuing up against an AI team that some random person has assembled and the computer's doing the fighting for them. I've seen that in other games. You're having a real-time battle against another person. So things are happening on the fly, you're making adjustments, you're reading your opponent, and you're gaining the opportunity to outplay them. That means you're gonna get a unique and fun new experience every time you queue into a match, which obviously increases the replayability, but also means there's living and thriving metas that can change over time. Strategies will develop among the community. You can try to tackle and beat those strategies as well. So there's all this fun back and forth that exists between both you and your opponent on that individual level, but also that greater level as the game starts to develop among the community as well. And then finally, the last point I wanted to make is that you have complete control over your units on the battlefield. So unlike some other games where you might just deploy a unit and it might just kind of run down a lane and automatically do its thing, Command & Conquer Rivals utilizes a tile-based battlefield where you can move your units to individual tiles, which mean things like timing and positioning and movements in the moment, all are going to greatly impact the outcome of the match. So it gives you a lot more control over how things go, a lot more influence over how to be strategic, how to approach the game plan and the strategy. So whether you focus on the missile silo in the middle or you go straight for your opponent's base, and I know you guys may not know what these things are, but again, we'll be covering all of this in the future. But the important part is you have that control. You're not just relying on a dumb computer to solve the problems for you. It harkens back to those real-time strategy experiences where the micro of a fight makes a difference. And although it might not be quite as challenging as it used to be in those real-time strategy games, it's accessible and it's fun while still giving you that control. So I think it finds a perfect balance for somebody like me who was never an APM king. I wasn't good at real-time strategy games of old, but I do have an opportunity to be really good at Command & Conquer Rivals. Now, all that said, I think this is a game you'll enjoy if you check it out, but if you're not quite ready to take a look yet, don't worry, I'm going to be talking about it more in the future, so you'll see more examples of gameplay, more examples of how to approach the game, how to get good, how to beat your opponents, and all that fun stuff, that level of analysis you guys know me for. So stay tuned for that. But before I go, one more reminder, there is a link in the description. If you're in Canada, the game launches for you today. When this video was published, you can download it right now for free. Otherwise, globally, the game launches on December 4th, but you can still pre-register. Check out the game, read more about it in that link in the description. But until then, I hope you'll share your thoughts, your comments, your take on Command & Conquer Rivals in the comments below. And until next time, game on.